In this video, I would like to talk about order of operations. So you see on my screen right now these 6 letters, PEMDAS. PEMDAS, you may have heard of this before, and you may have heard the mnemonic device for remembering this order. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So that may ring a bell. This is the order in which we have to do things. Parentheses first, P for parentheses. E is exponents. M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. But it's not as straightforward as doing things in this particular order, right? So this sort of implies parentheses are number 1. Exponents are then number 2. Finally, multiplication would be step 3, followed by division, which is step 4. And that's not actually true. So I'm going to rewrite PEMDAS in a way that I think makes more sense. So parentheses definitely comes first, P, followed by exponents. So you take care of all of your parentheses in the problem. Then you take care of your exponents. But then I'm going to put multiplication and division at the same level. And I'm going to do the same thing with addition and subtraction. So step 1 is definitely parentheses. Step 2 is exponents. And then step 3 is to do all the multiplications and divisions left to right. And I'll do an example or two to show what I mean by this, left to right. And it's the same thing with addition and subtraction. That would be step 4. And we do that also from left to right. And this is to ensure that everyone is in agreement in exactly how to apply arithmetic operations when you have multiple operations in one problem. So we're all getting the same answer. Now, why is multiplication and division the same step? Well, let me say something that might blow your mind a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. But there's no such thing as division. Division is not a necessary mathematical operation because we have fractions. So let me give you an example. Five divided by 2 is the same as 5 multiplied by 1/2. Any division problem can be rewritten as a multiplication. So every single time you see a division sign, you could replace it by multiplying by the reciprocal. 5 divided by 2 equals 2.5. 5 times 1/2 also equals 2.5. So because multiplication and every division can be written as a multiplication, that means multiplication and division are basically the same operation. They are not two separate operations. Same thing is true with addition and subtraction. Subtraction does not need to even exist. It's not a necessary standalone operation because if I wanted to do 5 minus 2, I could rewrite that as an addition. Instead of 5 minus 2, that's the same as 5 plus a negative 2. So because we have fractions, every division could be written as a multiplication. And because we have negative numbers, every subtraction can be written as a division. So there was a problem that came up in the homework that one of my students sent me an email, and there was some confusion, and that confusion was exactly right here on this multiplication and division step. Okay, so let me give you the problem. So it's a pretty simple problem. Simple doesn't mean easy. Ever simple means short and concise. This one only has 2 steps. So the problem is 24 divided by 2 times 3. Now, the question is, what do we do here? Well, if you're following PEMDAS, it may seem like the first step would be multiplication, in which case you would get 24 divided by 6, which would be 4. Right? That would be incorrect. That would be incorrect. And the reason it's incorrect is because a division, like I said, division can be written as multiplication. So let me do a little bit of this so we make sure it seems like that's an incorrect way of going about this. So if the problem is 24 divided by 2 multiplied by 3, well, this dividing by 2, we could rewrite that as 24 times 1/2 times 3. Now we get a different answer. 24 times 1/2 is 12. Half of 24 is 12, and then we multiply 12. So let me put a 12 down here. When we multiply 12 times 3, we get a different answer. We don't get 4, we get 36. I'm not saying you have to do it this way. You don't have to always convert division to multiplication, but this is the reason why. This is the justification why when we're at that multiplication and division step in PEMDAS, we have to go left to right. So that was sort of a long-winded way of explaining why we do this, but to solve this problem, times 3, there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. All right, so let me go back to PEMDAS, P, E, M and D, and then A and S. Right? Because remember, I'm saying multiplication and division are the same thing. Addition and subtraction are the same thing, because you could always add a negative or you can multiply by a reciprocal. So since both of these operations, this division and this multiplication, they're at that same level on PEMDAS, step 3, we go left to right. So moving in this direction, 24 divided by 2 equals 12. And now 12 times 3 would be 36. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope this alleviated any confusion. I know when if I think back, I learned PEMDAS as it is 6 things in this order: parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication, then division, then addition, and then subtraction. Again, that's not actually the way we do things. It's 4 steps: parentheses, 1, exponents, 2, multiplication and division, 3, left to right, and addition, subtraction, 4, left to right. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful.